Aha.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Music Lab podcast. My name is Dogg, and I am here with my friends all the way from Sweden in Death and Vanilla. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks. Nice to be here.
Happy Easter, of course. How did we celebrate Easter yesterday?
Well, just with family, getting together with parents or things like that. Yeah.
Food,
Food.
A lot of candy.
A lot of candy.
cake.
Yeah, things like that. Cake. Yeah, but there's nothing religious to it in our life, at least. So yeah.
I think the Swedish religion for Eastern is the candy.
Yeah.
We eat so much candy in Eastern. I don't know if the same with you, but that's candy everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, candy is definitely a theme of Easter in America. So it has been almost a month now since we have been back from South by in Austin, Texas. You guys were there. We got to see you at Hotel Vegas. It was just an absolute amazing show. So thank you for that. Talk about your first experience in Austin and playing the festival.
Yeah, wow. That was absolutely amazing experience for us. We had a great time, and it was our first time, so we didn't know quite what to expect to come over. And we did, I think, quite a lot of shows in a few days, so it was intense. But we also had time to actually see a little bit of Austin and the festival and other bands. So yeah, it was an absolutely amazing experience for us.
Yeah, we loved Austin as well. We were kind of sad to go home. Actually, it was we were enjoying our stay. But we had a nice little Airbnb as well, which was really nice. So yeah.
Yeah, we felt at home.
Yeah, we had a really good time at the festival and in Austin in general. Yeah.
Great city.
Yeah.
So was there anything about Austin that reminded you of your hometown or of like a city that you've lived in Sweden?
No.
Not really.
No, it's, I mean, everything is bigger in America than in Sweden. That's the like general thing we always say.
Yeah.
Like it gets, even we had an electric thunderstorm during the festival. There was
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
The show almost didn't happen because of that, but then it did. So fine, luckily enough. And I was saying, I've never seen a thunderstorm like that in Sweden.
Yeah.
And then we went home with the Uber, and he was saying, well, I give it a 2.5 out of 10. And I was like, okay, I don't want to know what 10 is then, because I thought it was quite impressive and massive.
Yeah, it was.
So
It was. We actually, because we were waiting for you guys to play, and yeah, it just from out of nowhere just started raining like cats and dogs, and then the lightning. I mean, it was just a beautiful like display. It was just, we were sitting at a brewery, just looking at the sky, just being amazed by it, and then we got to see you guys an hour later be amazed. So that was quite a Thursday.
yeah.
Yeah. We were inside a hotel room at the time when it started raining. So fortunately, we weren't outside in the backyard of Hotel Vegas at that time. But yeah, we could see everything from the hotel room, like a monsoon rain, almost like yeah. It was
So let's talk about the band name itself, Death and Vanilla. It's a unique band name. Where did this come from, and who created this?
It's been so long, we almost forget where it comes from.
Yeah, I think you're the one best to explain it.
Yeah, should I?
Yeah, why not?
Well, there are many. There are a few different versions of where it comes from, but mainly it was based on two rabbits, one black and one white, that was called Death and Vanilla, and pet rabbits. and yeah, that's where the band name came from.
Okay. So did you have a pet rabbit growing up?
Yes.
Yes, it was his
Mm,
pet
yeah.
rabbit.
Oh, okay, I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did as well. I had a mini lop growing up. We named him Eddie.
Yeah.
He lived for 8 years.
Yeah. They are very nice, aren't they?
Yeah, very
Yeah.
good.
Mm.
Except when they're in heat.
I don't remember that at all, but yeah.
Yeah, then they try and hump your leg.
Yeah.
So you guys have been with Fire Records now since 2015, which is a long time, to be with anybody, let alone a record company. So talk about that relationship. How have they, worked with you? How have they kind of, allowed you to grow? Do they kind of leave you alone when it comes to the recording process, or, talk about that?
Yeah.
Yeah. What are we gonna say?
No,
Yeah,
yeah.
no.
Yeah, I was going to say yes.
I think they're very patient with us.
Yeah, we have a good relationship with them. They're, like you say, they're very patient because we don't release that many albums. I mean, there's usually space between the albums, like a couple of years, and it feels like, yeah, they're used to that now. Like it takes some time before we come up with something new, and it seems like it's fine. They don't interfere with the creative side at all, like or saying things like, I mean, we make the album and then we send it to them, and we're saying, here is the album. And they're like, okay, cool. And
They have some suggestions for singles.
Yeah,
which should be released first as a single.
Yeah, they pick singles, and they might have like ideas about like order of the songs, things like that. But otherwise, we're basically left alone.
They did have a saying, and they did say, this time, don't pick a long name for the album. Pick a short name.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
So, picker is short.
Yeah, because I don't know, maybe the band name is a little longer. It's good to have a shorter title.
Yeah, and the album titles are fairly long
on the other
general.
ones. Yeah.
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 So it was a good suggestion.
Yeah.
I like it.
They are always very supportive of us. So we have yeah, we're very happy with our relationship with them.
And I think we've grown together in the ways that we cooperate as well, because in the beginning, the first album, it was really a handover. It was like we didn't give them anything about the album in advance. It was on the delivery date. It was, here it is, with album artwork and everything, and name and titles and everything.
Yeah.
And going during the years now, it kind of evolves a little bit more that it's kind of fun to send off a little bit things in advance and say, hey, we're working on this is where we're going. And we still feel that they don't say, oh no, don't do that or do that. They don't do that.
No, they are encouraging.
Yeah, they're just encouraging. So I think we've had a little bit more trying to think how to say it in English, but yeah, it's been from our side that we thought it was actually good to just have a little bit of just not letting years pass and then here's the album, but we do send off some things along the way, some demo tapes or ideas we have, and that's
we're kind of used to working by ourselves, and and you're kind of in your own bubble, kind of working on music, or we do the cover art as well by ourselves, so we tend to be not very, what's the word, like inviting to other people outside. We just do our thing and say, here it is, it's done, this is the way it should be. But I think for this album, for the new album, we were sending them demos quite well in advance, and they seemed excited about them, and we were sending them like cover art, like 10 different versions, and they were like, "Oh, we should go with this one. This is really nice." And we were like, "Okay, yeah." So yeah.
Well, it's good to have more opinions outside our bubble. I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
We kind of noticed that.
About that, yeah.
Let's talk about the album art, because it is just amazing. Like you mentioned that you guys do it. So
yeah,
where does that inspiration come from for the particular album art for this new album? Talk about that.
Well, I do the album art, so I think it's basically just making like kind of collages. You have a blank canvas, so to speak, and just throw different pictures in it and see, oh, this looks cool, or this works, or those two figures go together, or whatever. But the only thing we were saying before is that we didn't want it to look like the earlier albums. We wanted something that maybe went in a different direction. I don't know if we ended up with that in the end, but I think it turned out really well. And this is out of maybe 10 suggestions that I sent to the label, they immediately picked this one, and we did some modifications to it, and then it became when they said, "Oh, we love this one," we were like, "Oh, maybe that's the one," and it became the album art from that point on, kind of yeah. But inspiration wise, it's just basically, it's a bit like we make the music, we do little bits, record, try different things with them, and just try to build songs from those little bits of sound that we record. And it's the same thing here. It's quite minimal this time, but it's basically a collage, but it's very minimal. So it's just like throwing things into the picture and see what works.
Your music represents the art. Yeah, it makes perfect sense. And you're seeing a lot of bands now, and I think you guys would be able to do this flawlessly, where they put together like it's almost like the music is a soundtrack for a film, or like a short set of videos or anything like that. Whereas music videos are specific to the song, but when you do it as an entire album, the vibe and the mood that you guys set, immediately with this new album, you easily could put that to art, you know what I mean, or to some sort of film. Have you guys done any soundtracks to any films or anything like that?
We've done 2 live soundtracks to existing films. So the kind of where you just put your own music onto an older film, and we've done this live. So once in Lund here in Sweden, to Vampire. It's an old 1932 movie, almost silent movie. And then we did it also in Spain at a festival to The Tenant. So
the Polanski's,
yeah,
The Tenant.
Yeah, where we kind of muted all the sound, and then they project the film on the screen, and we kind of do half improvised, half rehearsed sounds with that. So yeah, and that's, I think I'm speaking for us all, saying we love to do that. It's really a nice thing to set the mood for film, that the film has to take you in the right direction, and it's just not all about the music, but you have to find something that suits the film. So
it's a lot of work for one live performance, so it's good to have it recorded and even released. To document, because we put a lot of work into it.
The music kind of complements the film, correct? That you're not trying to overtake it, you're just trying to complement it and add to it. So let's talk about then because you kind of touched on it a little bit from the songwriting perspective of how you guys take sounds and then build songs out of that. Was that process the same as a 2-piece compared to now being a 3-piece, or like talk about that transition from being a 2-piece to a 3-piece?
I think early, from the very beginning, I think we were doing, and for the first album, maybe we were doing a lot of sampling as well. Like a lot of songs were based on samples. But I think from the second album, which is To Where the Wild Things Are, we weren't using samples anymore, I think, and if that, but I think we used samples as a means because there was only 2 of us, and it was a thing that suddenly we could have drums, you know, from a sample, or and even drums and bass or something like that.
And
So,
I also think that we really liked large cool soundscapes that we liked ourselves. That was a way of getting into that kind of producing sound as well. That's a good starting point to see what you have and what you like, and put things together, and that kind of, so in the beginning I think that's like a learning point as well, to just do it that way, and then you evolve from there, because obviously it is tough to sample too much. It's not the easiest way to put out records.
So I think before this album was finished, we were doing lots of jamming in a way that we haven't really done before. We were playing hours and hours of just improvising. We had drum machines and things like that. We were playing to that, so some of the songs that ended up on the album were actually born out of us just jamming endlessly for maybe, I don't know, for 6 months or something. And
during COVID.
Yeah, so that was a way to, and since we got like drum machines, and Malene was playing organ, and she was playing bass on the organ, because there is like a bass section on the organ. So we had a almost full band sound among the 3 of us just playing. So, which we haven't really explored before. So that's that was a new thing for us to do, in that way at least. Usually we've always jammed, but it's been more like ambient, quiet, slow, moody things. But this time we could do like up-tempo things, and because, you know, we just speed up the drum again.
Let's do this faster.
So but we had a lot of fun with that, actually.
I think also because we bought what you say, the thing you record on,
the sound card.
We did buy a bigger sound card, so we could actually get more channels into one recording. Before we only had 2 channels.
Only 2 channels. This time we had 4.
Then now we have 4 channels.
So
we can record our jams and actually keep some of the sounds that we do, so we can put them into the songs as well. It's kind of something as well.
It's something else.
I think that is a big part of your sound in general, that textured layers, that soundscape as you spoke of. I couldn't agree more. With that being said, like, is it tough to try and match vocally that sometimes? Because I know on the new album, I feel like you did that more than you have previously, where that wall of sound is also matched by a wall of vocals as well. Was that intentional, or did that kind of just come organically?
I think you're right. It is hard to get the vocals into the songs. Sometimes we've done so much with the songs already. I mean, many people are writing songs while doing the vocals and maybe guitar or piano at first, and then put the layers on. We do all the layers first, and then we put the vocals on at last. That's often the case.
Yeah, so we have, sometimes it's almost like there isn't space for the vocals. So she has to kind of fight her way to find her place within all the sounds, because they are already fully recorded instrumental tracks, and like you say, there is a lot of there can be a lot of tracks and a lot of things recorded. So sometimes there isn't that much space, but I think this time we
thought about it, because we've noticed on previous albums that sometimes it's like, oh, well, it's kind of crowded here already. I don't know where to do something. I mean, I can do simple things above that, but we kind of, I think we had a thought that we wanted to put the vocals a little bit more forward, so we didn't want to have them really up in front, so it's not important for us to have the vocals in front of everything. But we did have a thought about that we need to leave some space for the vocals, so we brought in the vocals earlier at some point
in the process.
So have you ever tried to write a song vocals first or lyrics first and then
well, we have actually, and the second track on the album, called Baby Snakes, is actually a track which just started with Malin improvising vocals and playing a few chords on the organ, and that became the song eventually. So yeah, that's a direct result of that.
I think Mercury Rising was
Mercury's Rising too.
It was a bit like that.
You know how that came about? We were in the rehearsing space, all three of us, and Magnus went outside to take
a break.
Take a phone call. And he came back 10 minutes later, and me and Anders, we just kind of started singing this melody and playing these chords and the bass line. And he was like, "What's that?" Yeah, we made a song. And we kind of did. It went very, very quick.
So, might have to do that every time, huh?
Just go out, and then
it hasn't happened since.
So getting back to like the songwriting process then. So you've self-produced all of your albums. That in and of itself is a huge undertaking. Talk about that, and just how that fits into then the final product.
Well, I think we don't think that much about the producing, because I don't know. Like she said before, like we don't sit down and write songs like working out chords and melodies and things like that. It's usually we record maybe a bit of bass or a bit of drum or guitar riff or whatever, and then we record something more that goes with that, and then it's like we record sounds and we make songs out of them. We try to build from there, and so that is the production basically, and knowing where, since knowing where if something should be taken away from tracks, or we need to add something else, or something is missing. It's always constantly it's constantly changing, because all our tracks or songs usually go through different stages where in the beginning they sound like one thing, and the finished song is something different. So it's just
it's really a process.
It's a process, and
producing is part of the process of songwriting for us.
It's the same thing.
The only way we know how to write songs,
because the recording is the same as the writing as well, and producing. It's the same thing. It all goes in the same. It's the same.
Yeah, and I think we're also very noggranna.
Careful.
Yeah, we're very careful from the beginning. So if we put something on the recording, we're not thinking that we're doing a demo. We're really thinking that, okay, whatever we put in here is something that we want to have. So make it right from the beginning. We don't feel like, just put a little bit guitars and put a little bit drums, and then we see, and then we kind of fine adjust. No, we're really like, okay, what's the guitar going to sound like? What is the sound we want? What is so we're very careful about everything we put in the beginning. So
it's true. It's because when a track is finished, or when we think like, oh, this sounds great, this is cool, it's all about, you know, how it feels when we hear it, and it's not ready until we feel what we need to feel. It's hard to know how to get there sometimes, but it's all about, like, you hear you record a few things and it's like, wow, this is great, but another day you might record the same thing, but it's just like, oh, it didn't turn out well, it doesn't sound like anything. So it's it has to be, for us to continue working on something, it has to be something that hits us from the beginning, because there is no melodies for vocals or anything like that usually already in place. It's like it's a bit like we're making beats, like hip hop producer, like you know, we're doing loops, and the verse is one loop, the chorus is another loop. It's a bit like that, and it has to, you listen to the loop over and over again, and it's like, yeah, this is good, this is great, like this, you know.
Well, we'll say that if we have really to like it ourselves, because we can't like it, who else would? So we just go with our own gut feeling. I feel that, okay, is this where it feels like, okay, this is something, this should be good, and then we don't give it much more thought of how to produce that, then we know we're already there when we have this feeling. So
I think it is funny how most bands, that they feel like, especially for the entire song, that they have to fill the song with vocals. And I like how you guys, you know, you'll take a minute and a half to open a song with just a, you know, a musical intro, which I think is great. Or, you know, you'll finish a song with a musical ending. You know, it doesn't have to have vocals, you know. And I think too many bands just feel like because they have a voice, and, you know, or the lead singer doesn't play an instrument, so he feels like he has to sing. But like some of the songs have like those nice long musical interludes, or just those introductions, you know. Talk about that. Is that obviously something that's deliberate, or like you said, it just kind of is, the vocals only can fit certain where the music is, right?
I mean, it's definitely like, I mean, we the songs are created as instrumentals from the beginning, so there's no thought like, okay, we need to do this, take the verse, you know, 4 times, and then the chorus 4 times, and then you know, we just make it as long as it, you know, we feel when we're recording, and sometimes we do cut a bit, but sometimes it's just like, this is great, why cut it away, or why fade it, or something like that, because it's just, it's nice, I like, you know.
I think also that
I
think that we actually feel that the instruments, that the melodies we put in the instruments, they are equally
as important as the vocal.
They're equally important, and equally they could be, I mean, some songs, the vocals are there, and I always try to do vocals important, and to really be like the best they can be. But I mean, the star of the song could be something totally else. It's like, and it could be the guitar, or it could be the moog. I mean, the soundscapes from the moogs. It doesn't even have to be melody. But we have one song that we haven't released yet, and that we jammed, and we did. So there was just like, you did something on the moog that's kind of like a noise throughout the whole song, and we thought, oh, that's so cool. That has to be. Let's do a song about. On top of that, but have this as a central piece of the song. So that's something we're going to finish soon.
So let's talk about your equipment and everything that you guys, your gear. I mean, when we saw it at South by, I'm imagining, oh my God, you brought all of this from Sweden. Like, were you scared to death, like in the travels of everything getting there and nothing being damaged? Like, oh my gosh, like that's a lot of money in that gear.
Yeah, it is, but
sometimes we just say, like when we were going on trips, like, why do we do this? It's like so much things to carry.
Yeah, but we've always been particular about the stuff that we play. It's like it's always been like because we love the sounds, and you sometimes you can get a synth that plays like mellotron-ish sounds, but it doesn't sound the same. And if you know how they sound for real, if you use the substitute, it might work sometimes, but it's not the same, and it's hard to imagine when you're playing. It always feels like a compromise. The sound is compromised. Like it sounds okay, but it could be better.
I think we just want to give the audience, the people that come to the shows, we just want to give them the best we can, and sometimes we have to compromise. We can't bring my organ that I record on, my main organ weighs 30 kilos. It doesn't go on a plane, so obviously we can't bring that. But when we go by car to a show, we do because we try to give the best experience. We know that sounds are in the instruments, the right sounds are in the right instruments, so we kind of want to try to maintain that as much as we can live as well. It's not always, sometimes we have to do compromise.
Yeah, we do. Yeah,
we try to carry whatever we can.
Yeah. But we're probably on our maximum at the moment. So
we used to tour with a vibraphone.
Yeah, we used to tour we've been doing like UK tours with a big vibraphone, which had such a big case that we had to rent a van just to fit it. That was a bit Spinal Tap for me. Yeah. But
that was a turning point.
We could put people on top of the case and roll everyone into the venue.
But the thing is that when the people who usually react to that as well, it's like, wow, look at that instrument, or it creates some kind of excitement for people as well. It's not the same as just someone standing with a laptop. You see the Apple logo on the back. There is because there's usually people at the shows that talk to us afterwards about gear. so I don't know. People get excited by seeing real instruments as well, and then they think, oh, this is gonna be great, because all the instruments are there. It's not just a laptop.
It's a throwback for the younger generation, right? Gadgets and gizmos and Exactly. Well, guys, thank you so much for doing this. Thank you for spending your afternoon, because it's 5 o'clock your time, correct?
Soon.
So, this has been great. I hope you had as much fun as I did. Best of luck on the road. I know you guys are touring. Summertime is you guys are pretty busy, right?
On Saturday we go to the UK.
Yes, next week we're in UK for a couple of next couple of days.
Yeah.
So
good. Lots of pints and fish and chips, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is Dogg with the Music Lab podcast. This is Death and Vanilla. Thank you all so much for again spending the afternoon with me, and best of luck in the future, and we'll chat again.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.